There we go.
Assalamu alaikum. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome to Amu Yum Yum, the podcast, where we seek to cure the kufr infected by injecting the Islamic perspective. Look at what's all this, man. This extra stuff.
It's a multiverse, man.
I'm your host. Yeah, we're in the metaverse right now. I don't know how it works. Anyway, I'm your host, Amu Yum Yum. And with us, mashallah, as always, the Amu you love to hate, Amu Yusuf. And joining us, brand new, funky fresh, in the flesh, is brother Asadullah Sabr, inshallah. And we have with us Amu Ismail. Okay. So, about to get it cracking, but first we have to disacclaim, inshallah ta'ala.
Yeah, what is it?
What's all this beeping and buzzing? What's going on, man?
That's your phone, man. Your new phone.
No, you beep
I
and
told
buzz.
you,
I noticed you beep and buzz
your
a lot.
old phone sucked and the new one sucked too.
You beep and buzz a lot. I noticed.
You know, I don't know why I always buy a ghetto phone.
What do you got, an iPhone?
Yeah, man. Because the eye.
Made small
Made what?
children. Small children in
Yes.
Chinese factories
Exactly.
with suicide nets
Slave-
all around the
Yes.
building.
Slave order for them to get their phone.
Exactly.
What's wrong with you, man?
We need.
Hey, this is
that's Japanese. Anyway,
this is 2022. You got to do that. You want to survive.
bro, you gonna disclaim on that?
Yeah, man. Someone has to disclaim. How about you, Sabir?
All right.
Since you got the radio voice,
Yeah, I'm getting that.
you might want to be a little bit louder though.
The opinion of Amu Yum Yum, the podcast, is based upon Islam.
Mm.
Our intentions are to be correct.
Mm.
However, we may not always be right.
Mm.
Others may differ in concepts,
Mm.
but these
are
are
Ours, mashallah.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's a lot of beeping and buzzing going on.
It's your phone, man.
El technology.
You might want to lower the volume on your phone.
Nah, I did already. I lowered all the volume in the world.
Whose phone is that?
What I'm gonna do? Okay,
No, you have to cut the volume off, not
Yeah.
lower it. Cut it off.
Yeah.
You have to
you're not the boss. You're not the boss of this phone.
Yeah.
The old phone.
Yeah.
You're the boss of that one, not this one.
Okay, so we have to go with the
random.
Whoa.
You scared to click it?
No, it's there. It's there. We have to go with the random.
Man,
It's there. Look.
Random.
It's got to take Ramadan off and everything go through heck. Anyway,
No. That was the best break ever.
Okay. The random is too much yani. Yeah, see, I told you.
The phone is connected to his Mac.
Anyway,
Both are synced
Anyway.
and talking to each other, making those notes. That's how I had to lower the volume here.
So what are you doing? Anyway, so the random is
You're late.
I'm extremely late.
That's random.
I'm extremely late. Yeah.
That's random.
Because of this
Yeah.
COVID-22.
What is that?
It's a red band. COVID-22.
What?
Yeah, I got it.
You traitor?
No, I didn't get the shot. I got the virus.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. There you go. That's good. Yeah.
No. Now I was at my son's basketball game and it kind of ran. It ran longer. It wasn't supposed to be that long, but it is what it was.
I think we should have another plan called like a backup plan. Like, have like the graphic, everything ready. When you are late, hit it.
Metaverse.
Sends everything at the same time,
Metaverse.
Yeah.
Metaverse.
You can sync your phone and just be online on your phone.
See, mashallah. This is our guest, mashallah.
Yeah, but see,
He's more tech than.
there was no computer here.
No, I mean your phone could sync into.
Always has to prove a point.
It got to be set up.
Yes.
Then maybe. See,
Right.
but anyway. So anyway,
You Yusuf, I agree with you, Yusuf. That's true.
He agree with you because it's me.
Oh yeah, that's why I agree with 100%.
None of them right.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Yeah, it matters. You're absolutely correct, mashallah. Very knowledgeable and highly tech savvy. Should teach him some lessons.
So anyway, what happened?
Okay, so let's go.
Passed already.
So that was the random, right?
What's that? The date? 14? No, we're good, right?
He's confused. Are you looking at the states?
No, I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about.
Yeah, don't look at this stuff,
Anyway,
man. Just focus.
So anyway, that was the random. That's why I'm late. I was at my son's game. They had a tournament. Lost the first game, won the second two. Last one was a nail biter, 1 point. And the second one was a blowout. First game, they lost by 7 points, something like that. So
Basketball,
yeah. So yeah, and I coached earlier in football. Lost. Anyway, so
Lost.
well, no, it wasn't.
Long day.
Yeah, it was a long day, man. And then the Shaw got one game tomorrow.
Alhamdulillah, you made it.
Alhamdulillah, I made it. So anyway,
All right.
that's the random.
All right, so let's get on with the topic, okay? This guy's fooling around a lot, so go with the topic.
What's poppin'?
There you go.
What's popping is the hot topic. Redenbacher. Anyway, so
That's very old school.
yeah. People know Redenbacher.
You know about that?
Yeah, very old school.
Yeah.
Very, very old school.
They had Arab Bacher,
Yeah.
Saudi Bacher.
So
No, Ahmad Bacher. Ahmad Bacher.
that became like a red cow.
Yeah. So anyway, the greatest threat to Islam's revival. Okay, the greatest threat to Islam's revival. Right to left, what would you say is the greatest threat to Islam's revival today?
I'll give it some quick thought. And I'll preface it by saying, despite all that surround us,
Mhm.
from the dunya, and some would call the zeitgeist, and it's everything, I would say it's we ourselves. We're our greatest enemy. Because,
So we ourselves are the greatest threat to Islam's revival.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Valid.
we're basically not thinking about revival. We're thinking about everything else that's going on.
Okay.
The greatest threat to Islam's revival
Mhm.
is revival being an afterthought, or we're not even
Not
thinking.
even a thought. Yeah.
Not even a
It's
thought.
not even an afterthought.
Why is that?
We're not thinking of it. We're not. Oh, mashallah, like that.
Why is that?
We're too consumed with prime example.
No, you can't use this phone right here. This phone is very Islamic.
No. This one is like way behind
This phone is
revival.
like,
But
it weighs as much as the Quran.
No. One of the reasons Islam's not coming.
Technology.
One of the reasons Islam's coming back because of his phone. I just found out.
Bruh.
well, it has its positive uses.
Yeah. But let's focus on the topic.
We're too attached to things.
Okay. That.
And that's-
Well, so you're saying things within the Madaniya, the civilization,
yes.
is preventing us from revival?
Well,
I was.
Our attention, our lack of attention to the revival. We have technology. We use technology.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I concur with his
First point.
the sentiments of we are our worst enemy.
Okay.
Not just because of our attention somewhere else, but the lack of wanting Islam back. I mean,
Okay.
some of us are Islam is fine. We have our liberties and we have our freedoms.
So-called freedom.
Okay. Let's redirect it. Let's switch it.
Mhm.
Not the greatest obstacle to Islam's revival, but the greatest threat
Okay, that's a different.
to Islam's revival.
Yeah.
Because we can discuss the obstacles, but the obstacles are
Many.
sundry. That's a
Yes.
big word, sundry. At least
Write it down.
5
Write it down.
letters.
Write it down.
At least 6 letters.
How do you spell that? Because I don't speak English.
SUNDRY, sundry.
Write it down.
So anyway,
The obstacles are many.
yeah.
Okay.
So and varying.
Different,
Varying.
yes,
So
yes.
say the greatest obstacle to Islam revival. You say dunya, the things that distract us. Technological distraction, social media, whatever. You could say one of the greatest obstacles. But what is the greatest threat to Islam revival?
That's a good question.
First.
The in today's world, the biggest threat is probably the enemies of Islam. I mean, Islam, the totality of it is a system that solves problems, but in solving its problems, not just its own, the people, but the world's problems. Those people who are in control now do not want that to happen. They do not want Islam to destroy what they've built.
So the greatest threat to Islam revival is those who have the most to lose
Exactly.
or are striving hardest to keep it from.
The same way the Quraysh pushed away Muhammad SAW when they offered him kingships, wealth, because they knew he came to eliminate what they had established.
Our sound is trash. You know why? Because Yusuf didn't connect.
Blame it on me.
Bruh, I was making salat because I'm so religious. I was actually making salat because I'm so religious.
No, don't worry. Nobody said anything, so we're good.
Well, what Jawad heard us, so
What did Jawad say? What did he ask?
no, he heard us. Jawad right here, he heard us.
Oh.
What did he say?
Anyway, now he didn't say nothing about the mic, but he was concurring, like we do in the medical field.
Don't agree with him.
I'm a doctor online.
Yeah, Dr. Online through
So
YouTube.
all these, alhamdulillah, all these are valid points about the greatest threat being those that have the most to lose, which is the enemies, right?
Enemies of Islam.
Now we have to talk about who are the greatest enemies. Who are the greatest enemies? Of course, we're enemies to ourselves, right? Anytime we allow something outside of ourselves to distract us from what should be coming from within ourselves, which is a hunger, need, and for Islam's revival. But the greatest enemies. Who are the greatest enemies? If we figure out who the greatest enemies, then we can narrow in on the greatest threat.
Do you have any more answer? Because I have many too.
I wanted to pick up on his point. People who are in control of their system,
Can get out of
life now,
Can do it.
want to maintain it. I was going to piggyback on that, and say lack of knowledge.
Yeah, but those are obstacles, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes. Those are not the threats. Those are obstacles.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he says that the enemies of Islam don't want it to revive or come back to return, why? Because that it threatens their interests.
Their way.
Yeah.
They are lords right now.
Yeah.
And when Islam came and said La ilaha illallah, that offended them because they were lords. They were sustaining, giving bread to the Hajjaj. They were ordering husband and wife, to marry, not marry. They were doing prima nocta. If you marry a woman, Abu Jahl and others would sleep with your wife before you even touched them to make a baby. They were doing prima nocta and all that stuff, man. So this was their Jannah. It's the closest they would get to it.
Yeah.
This was their Jannah.
The answer is actually we see it everywhere. I want to go with the kuffar on this. The greatest threat for Islam's revival is the capitalist secular ideology.
Their ideology.
That's it. That's how they see us. Or should I say, not us, that's how they see Islam.
Right.
So the greatest threat, because that system rules the world. That the secular capitalist
Prison.
ideology rules the world. Make sense? They are the one in control. So that is a threat, not necessarily to Islam itself, but they know Islam, like here, Brother Jawad pointed out, like you mentioned previously, how the non-Muslim know, the elite intellectual politicians know Islam more than the Muslim, right? So for them, Islam is a threat as an ideology, right? So for us, they are the threat, unfortunately, to this deen, because when you mention the obstacle, then you can say how other nations were created, what kind of program they're pumping through the educational system, through the cultural system, through, those are the obstacles. You can mention many. Some of them from us, like the so-called sell-out ulama, or the ulama of the Salatin, or the agents,
What I call milkshakes.
milkshakes, and the agents that work towards what? To destroy every aspect when it comes to Islam as a solution for man, for humanity's problem, whether it's political, social, or economic. They consider Islam a threat. You can see it in movies, you can see it in books, you can see it in songs, you can see it from even highest level, the language they speak. So if Muslims don't wake up to understand that this is the great threat, guess what? We're not going to the right direction anyway. Because if you mention those obstacles, we can mention so many obstacles. Some of them is from them because they have the power. Some of them is also from us because we're allowing it.
We're easily misled.
Yeah. And of course, then if you want to say thinking don't involve, because that's obstacle, because Muslim don't have that critical thinking, political thinking awareness anymore. Like recently, when the Humar Gaddafi, when he got killed, whatever, right? That Haywan, yes, it's a Haywan. I know some of you Libyan people get upset. He killed so many ulama, so many good, ulama. He's a zalim. you'd be surprised that
He rejects Sunnah.
yeah,
He
yeah,
rejects Sunnah. So
yeah.
that's enough.
So that's enough, yeah. But recently, I don't know if you heard just very recently, a couple of years ago, his son came back, and all these brothers like, oh yeah, do you think that the powerful system would allow somebody just to come and the other someone's behind him,
Right.
and we know who's behind him politically. So they are very sad. So they're just savage. They're like very naive. They don't have the thinking, man. That's why I tell some brothers to stop talking about like dreams and Dajjals and Mahdi and Isa. You know what I mean? Alayhi salam. Those sort of thinking is not going to elevate anyone.
Well, you know why? Because it's not on this plane.
Yeah.
Anytime you start talking about a dream you had, anytime you start talking about something that will come in the future, sayau, like
Yeah.
later on in the future, far off.
Quite
You're not here.
Yeah, the
I'm saying
the delusion.
you're not here.
Yeah.
But how about Martin Luther King? He said he had a dream.
Well, they hit him in the head with a brick. They hit him in the head with a brick, and he said, "I have a dream." No, you got delusions. Anyway,
We're
so
gonna be in trouble now.
but the point is that I have a dream was stolen from a Baptist minister, another minister. They stole it speech. That I have a dream. It was really catchy. It's kind of like we need a Ramadan. I think the one that started that we need a Ramadan. I think he actually stole Dr. King's stolen dream
Well,
from the minister.
He had a dream, but he needed a plan.
Yeah, exactly. And the FBI wouldn't let that happen.
Yeah, of course.
I have a white woman. Anyway, no, he did.
So what do you all think?
In a
about that?
hotel.
In a hotel, yeah, that's happened actually.
Yeah, that actually happened.
There many of a close colleague talked about a lot of crazy stuff, but y'all don't read. Y'all busy watching TikTok.
But Jawad says he would say the Orientalist interpretation of the deen. For instance, in the military, if you're going to be a chaplain in American military, you have to study a book written by John Esposito.
Oh,
Who is he? A Catholic priest.
Yeah.
He's a Catholic priest. He wrote the curriculum for the Muslim chaplains
To be a chaplain.
to be a chaplain in the military.
Yeah.
So what good would you do?
Nothing.
What good would you do? You're not going to do any good.
That's a misdirection.
He said, Jawad said, not knowing the deen enough and mixing ideologies. Yes,
that's true.
Islam is understood in its own prism. It's viewed from its own prism. And then what happens is that they start mixing other things with Islam. Not only they start grabbing from other sunnah, other than the Prophet Muhammad sunnah, trying to justify what they want to do, and even lying on Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam. They lied on Prophet who's the other one? Yusuf alayhi salam. They lie on them in order to fit their agenda. Muhammad said if Musa alayhi salam was alive today, he had no choice but to follow me, which means even we know about Musa alayhi salam is mentioned more in Quran than Muhammad mentioned in Quran. He's mentioned more than Isa alayhi salam and any other prophet. Musa alayhi salam, his story, his life, his work, his name is in Quran more than any other prophet. And Muhammad said if he was alive during his time, he would have no choice but to follow the sunnah of Rasulullah. But the sheikhs, the shiuk are telling us from the member what? Follow any sunnah that fits your fancy. Follow any sunnah, any way, any sharia that fits your fancy. When every sharia that came abrogated the one came before. It abrogated the one came before. Even Yusuf alayhi salam didn't have a sharia. He's under the sharia of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So Suleiman didn't have a sharia. You know what I'm saying? He was under the sharia of who came before him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the problem that we have is that, like he said, we're mixing, not only we're mixing sharia, but we're mixing other ideologies. So now, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That type of thing. You know what I'm saying? That's not from our philosophy. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. There's a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a defeated mentality.
Well, we're ignorant.
Oh no, it's defeated because you want to fit in. You're defeated, so you're gonna accept the defeat, and you adopt. Basically, when you adopt,
willing to try anything.
Well, not just that, trying anything, but when you adapt an idea, when you adopt the idea, you are the loser, because you adopted the idea of the winner. You adopted the idea of the stronger.
Right. Not the right, but the one who's just strong.
Strong, yeah. You're not because you're adopting the strong. You're
what is that? Machiavelli? Not is it Machiavelli?
Machiavelli.
Who says survival of the fittest? Who came?
That's isn't that Darwin, right?
That's Darwin.
Yeah, evolution. Yeah.
What was the one? What did Machiavelli have? Was that the enemy of my enemy?
He started capitalism, Machiavelli.
Okay.
But if you think about it, you are accepting because you're not the strong. And a strong individual or a thinker not gonna submit, of course, unless it's right. You know what I mean? Right. But a lot of these is defeated. We're not better than you. You're better than us. We accept that you're better than us. That's why we take it in. We say we're part of it. Or, I mean, again, back to that obstacle. When the Muslim justify, there's so many reasons to justify the countries that they live in under the illegitimate rulership, under even in the West. I mean, like I said, when Muslims come to the West, they're for several reasons. First of them, let's say, because of refugees, they have no control over that, right? Then you have for economic reasons, they want to earn, they want to support their family. That's why they come, they go to the West because financially, they dominate their own countries, exploit them, then they come here too, which is kind of ironic, right?
Yeah.
And the third option is they just love the democratia and the hurriya and all the secular
Well, you
ideas.
forgot one.
Which one?
The ones that do the translation and helping of the
Oh
occupiers.
yeah. That's another one.
They
Yeah.
tend to get a VIP.
Upper hand.
They get the
Yeah.
VIP migration visa here. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what Jawad said here. Like you said in the previous podcast, the enemies know the deen better than the Muslim.
So
Yeah.
so the greatest threat to Islam's revival, people say, like the brother said, the enemies of Islam having so much to lose will fight hardest to maintain what they have, right? Through the secular democratic ideals. Okay. So we're not concerned about communism, socialism anymore, although it is written in some of the great books. That is an ideology of the past. It would never revive again. And Allah is the alim of that. Okay. So, but the issue is the greatest threat to Islam revival, I agree, are the enemies of Islam. All the enemies of Islam. The greatest obstacle is our lack of knowledge of the deen, lack of desiring revival. The first step to recovery is what? Realizing you have a problem. A lot of Muslims don't see a problem Islamically. They don't see it.
Yeah. I mean, they do, but what's the solution?
To that extent, though.
Yeah, but what's the solution?
For correcting the error of our ways.
No, they see the problem in the Muslim lands and corruption, everything. They see it, but what's the solution? When you ask them, what do they tell you? Work on yourself.
I've heard that.
Make your iman strong. Make sure everyone's in the Fajr. Hey, by the way, recently in Ramadan, a lot of sisters were in the Fajr, mashallah, in Kuwait, in the Gulf area. A lot of Muslims, the masjid was full of Muslims, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So my question to those that say, go to the Fajr. So yeah, they went to the Fajr. Fajr was packed.
Yeah.
What's next? But that's what they say. That some even say that this is punishment from Allah because you're not strong in your iman, because you're not practicing, or because you are bad. But you still have to work on yourself.
It's a pretty weak argument, but
Well, not just weak argument, because you know where the main decline is. It's in thinking.
Yeah.
and understanding.
Those
Understanding comes.
Yeah, those
but-
are just religious acts. Just going.
We don't have thinking. We don't know how to think.
Critical thinking, not critical.
Not just critical thinking, because when I went to the Western University, they taught me critical thinking. But when I had to disagree with their way of life, they started to get upset. I mean,
You know what's equal to that statement?
yeah.
That Muslims, the greatest threat to our revival is one of the optimal threats to our revival is what we don't come for the Fajr. Okay. Now, of course, we know that's outside of the Sirah. It's not even consistent with the life of Muhammad. Okay, but nevertheless, that's equal to say one of the greatest threats to our revival is we don't drink enough water. Yeah, we're not getting enough cups of water a day, bro. How is Islam gonna come back and we ain't getting enough water? That's equal to saying that, because water is necessary to live. Okay, so religious acts, monastic, just ritual acts are necessary in order to even stay within the fold of Islam. Okay, Muhammad said, "Whoever does not pray, what?
It's not
Outside of the deen.
Yeah, you're outside the deen." You know what I'm saying, what separates us from the kuffar is the salat. So if a person leaves off the salat, some say if you miss one prayer intentionally, some say if you don't pray any at all. Some pray if you miss a certain. At the end of the day, they're talking about prayer is being pivotal for you to stay in the fold of Islam. Okay, but to say that that anything other than the correct thinking, the correct tafkir, the correct thinking, the correct mafahim, the correct concepts, the correct aqidah is pivotal. You know what I'm saying, order to start to launch the Islamic revival,
Yeah.
that's like saying drinking water is necessary. It's one of the obstacles to us reviving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that you need for life.
Yeah. That's a very beautiful analogy, because when we talk about critical thinking, is there anybody out there, ulama or people of knowledge, that teach us not just the critical thinking, but the proper Islamic critical thinking?
Not that
Because
I'm aware of.
yeah, because when we talk about thinking, okay, thinking based on what? If I live in a secular society, I'm going to think like a secular. I'm going to be influenced by secular ideas. So my analogy, my logical thinking, my deduction is based on the secular, whatever I was taught from high school, from like regular school to university. So now we have to unplug. So I think there should be a lot of discussion about the Islamic thinking. What is Islamic thinking? Like when we view things in life, we view, like if you talk to any traditional so-called, I hate that word traditional, so-called traditional Muslim or born and raised but don't know why they're Muslim. If you sit down with them and ask them question, all their argument is based on the Greek logic, whatever they studied in the Western university. Even the overseas, I mean, even back home, they have some of the Western ideas, right?
Because they see it as superior.
That's what I'm saying. So why not tackle that first? See, the issue is like we're trying to compare apple and oranges. Every time we sit down and talk, no, let's talk about what is thinking. Before the thinking, what is the mind? Doesn't even talk about the
Some
capacity.
people don't like that.
Yeah, the capacity of the limitation of our mind.
That's the base. It has to start there.
Yeah, because if we live in reality, if we sense things, this is what we can view and see. So we should focus on that.
Now in the halakha, we study what is mind. Because when you study what is mind, you'll know the capacity,
Yeah.
the limitations of mind. What hurt the ummah in the past, and that's why we say history is to take lessons from. Allah Ta'ala tells us in the Quran that He tells us about the ummahs that passed away before, the people that passed away before. Why? So we can take lessons. Not Sharia, but lessons.
It's not a source of hukum shari.
History is never a source of hukum Sharia. Even the history before Islam, okay, is not a source of hukum Sharia. Okay, Islam is the source. Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, Sahaba, wa Qiyas. So with that being said, now we have Islam, being practiced in the time of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his Sahaba, and so on and so forth. That is the deen. That was the deen. Now we have something else happening, right? And every time something goes wrong now, they point to the history. This is what happened. That's what happened. Again, that's to take lessons from, so we don't commit those mistakes again. So we're sitting in the class. We're sitting in the class and we're discussing what is mind. When you understand what is mind, you'll be like, okay, my mind is limited. It's limited. What did the guy question he asked? He say, if Allah created everything, then who created Allah?
Yeah.
Well, Allah, Muhammad said, people say that. This is Allah who created everything. Man khalaq Allah. Man khalaq Allah. Who created Allah? They will ask so many questions until man says, who created Allah? And the brother said, the baker baked the bread, but who baked the baker? You know what I'm saying? It's a silly question. Silly. Our minds are too limited to understand infinity, especially what came before that we didn't witness.
Yeah, and that question has no answer.
So the issue is this, okay? Limitations of mind. Brothers got up and walked out the class. Now, why were we even discussing that? Muhammad didn't sit around and discuss that. You know why? Because in the past, we made that mistake. Brothers didn't know the limitations of mind and started thinking about, then we have the Jabriya, Al-Sunnah, Mu'tazila. All these people came, Mutakallimin, and all these people started debating things that were above their pay grade. That's why we discuss mind. So we know the limitations of mind so we don't commit the same mistakes of those that came before us. That is the purpose. And brothers got out, walked out the class. Astaghfirullah. I don't have a mind.
Yeah.
They got mad.
I don't have
we don't even have a mind. Why are we discussing it?
You don't have a mind. No, but it's true though, because a lot of the time.
Walaikum salam. Look.
Oh yeah.
Amu Jeremiah.
Another traitor. He's enjoying the beach now.
Floating down.
Yeah, he's enjoying the beach without us. Jeremiah. He's enjoying at night.
He's the only one that has good credit amongst us.
Jawad said he also added part of the obstacle, but Jawad said scholars not speaking to the rulers. Yeah, that's pretty much very, very true. But seriously, I mean, we had a lot of experience, talking to the Muslimin, and some of them are sincere, but unfortunately, that Islamic thinking capability doesn't exist. So we have to make them think. We have to ask this question. We have to, go back from,
Very
from
basic.
from the proper thinking, because a lot of them, I mean, they just run in circles.
What is part of the Dawah training? We don't often do it. But what's part of the Dawah training? Is to go to the Jumu'ah,
Yeah,
or go to a lecture, or go to a convention, listen to the speakers, and afterwards go up to random Muslims. "Assalamu alaikum."
ask
Say,
questions.
what did you think about the speech? We don't do it, but that's actually what we're supposed to be doing.
The
Yeah.
interaction part.
We're supposed to be going and speaking to random people.
Yeah.
What did you think about it? And then they say, "Oh, I think we should follow the sunnah of the Jews." And I mean that's what they say. They said the Jews were successful. They came to this country. They were successful, so on and so forth. No, they just not Muslim. That's why they get reparations and because they're not Muslim.
Yeah.
Don't twist yourself up on that. But nevertheless, you agree. I say, but what is the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad? Isn't that what we should follow? Like kind of like whom fi Rasulillahi
Uswatun hasana, yeah.
So shouldn't we follow that sunnah, that example, not the example of the Jews in America, right? The capitalists. And they'll say, well, you have a point. So they never thought of it like that. I quoted in front of a bunch of Arabs at Islamic Center one time. They had a picnic. And I said, "Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu la tattakhidu lahu wa nasara awliya." He said, "Oh, I never thought of that. It's like I never heard that ayat before." I'm like, wow, bro. I'm serious. It's like they never heard these ayat, and it's a problem with us.
And this is where the obstacle comes in. This is what the obstacle comes in, because a lot of Muslim, like in the Muslim countries, the educational, governmental based schools are sponsored by the government. So the government, who is a secular in nature, not going to promote, not going to, even if you go to university, let's say, alhamdulillah, in Khalij, in Saudi, actually, when you go to university, they'll teach you everything. You know what? They teach you everything, yes. But there's certain things they're going to leave out, or they're going to tell you not to do it.
I don't think they teach you everything.
In my days,
I think they teach you from an academic standpoint.
yeah.
So you make the grade. Everything is about making the grade.
Yeah, so I'm saying, based on my experience back in the 80s and 90s. Of course, now the change is way off the roof, But in my days, I studied this sort of thing. In fact, we used to ask the question. We used to ask the couple of favorite classes that even the worst person in the class, the gang person in the class, will pay attention. One of them was the Tariq, which is the history. We used to ask the teacher, "Wow, Islam is amazing and it's crazy. So we love that they have whole story, the good and the bad, right?" But we always ask the question to our teacher. "Okay, teacher, like Ustad, this is amazing. So what happened? Why we stopped? Even when we came to talk about the Uthmaniyya, they didn't talk about the clash between that and Al Saud and stuff. They put it out so nicely,
Right.
But I'm like,
Sugarcoated.
yeah, but I'm like, but it's still, even then the students to ask, but we still prefer that one. I mean, the before one. So what happened? Oh, time will come, things will change. We still follow Islam. We still apply the Shar Allah. So we are programmed like this from the beginning. Then when you have these converts, or let's say Muslim from other countries that go to like Al Azhar, they go to Khalid, Saudi, Pakistan, because there are a lot of big universities that exist in the past. Some of them are new. Even when you go there, I mean, just again, critical thinking. A country that follow a system not 100% from Islam, do you really think they're gonna
Promote.
openly promote that this? Even if, like you said, even if they teach it is what academic, right? It's just academic, and it's in the past. So that's what I tell a lot of brothers, that if you study overseas, alhamdulillah, you can study the Quran, the Arabic, the Sharia, beautiful. But you gotta be an Islamically critical thinker. Otherwise, you're repeating the same thing
Maybe.
that they're teaching you like a parrot, and you're not solving anybody's problem. Just yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? So the challenge is big, because they've been doing this for almost 100 years after the 19th. Well, but when you have the nation state, it's even worse, right?
Right.
So that's why sometimes it's difficult when we sit with our Arab brothers, or with our Desi brothers or African brothers. Sometimes it's not clicking, because I mean, when you are raised certain way from baby age all the way to like when you're an adult, that means our effort has to be even
Double.
triple, and double. Yeah.
That's 10 generations that's been
Yeah.
indoctrinated in Western thought.
Exactly.
And
What have you heard it? Have you heard that they'll say that that if something was wrong, then certainly Sheikh would have said something.
Yeah, that's another popular.
This is a mentality.
Yeah. That's the check in the box mentality.
How can you follow a ruler that does such and such? Just anything random, any ruler, right? How would you follow a ruler that does such and such? They'll say, well, perhaps the Sheikh took him by the hand and advised him in public. You don't know. I say, what I do know is that whatever the Sheikh told him ain't working.
I mean, do you remember?
you're not seeing any results.
But do you remember Safar al-Hawali a long time ago? He's a very popular Sheikh in Saudi, you know. And I saw him when I was young. He was like very short. He sent a letter to one of the kings. What happened?
It's actually been bad, actually.
No, he also said, he also said. But look, what happened to him? He followed the protocol.
Jailed.
And they jailed him.
Of course they jailed him.
He practiced the Islam that they taught him to teach.
You know.
And then
He-
he thought outside the box and asked the question.
He thought inside that box. They locked him up.
And he was still. I mean, I don't know how his condition now, but they still he was still unlike Samuel Oda, who unfortunately is still in jail. But I don't know what happened to his ideas. Kind of changed a little bit. But Samuel Hawali, he was consistent in his talk. But even nowadays, if you look at Saudi, there's another organization which is a part of the human rights organization, and they've been posting a lot of ulama that are in, let's say, in a Saudi jail, like unjustly. Even some sisters, some wives, some activists, the mix of everybody. But they're in jail for like 10, 15 years, some even teachers. And what happens when the Muslims don't care? When we start to say, oh, it's not my problem, it's their issues. I'm going to warn myself and everybody else. Sooner or later, it's gonna bite us.
You know what, man? Look, explain some to you. Some of the best basketball players are not in NBA.
Yeah.
Some of the best singers don't have contracts.
Right.
Some of the best rappers don't have contracts.
Exactly.
Some of the fastest runners will never run in the Olympics. It's all about exposure, time, and opportunity. Okay? There is a plethora of people in situations that you can discuss that where people found themselves in the right place at the right time.
This is true.
You know, but it's not about talent. It's about exposure. Okay? It's about exposure. It's not about talent. You think people, what is it, 100 high schools? No, not 100 high schools, but it's like 50 high schools in San Antonio or something like that, or close to it.
Close to it.
I'm saying, so if there's that many high schools here, you think scouts have time to go watch every game? They don't. Okay? They got to go by word of mouth and focus in on a few, and then they get that chop. But that doesn't mean he's the best one. I'm saying, I mean, the best one. It's time, opportunity, exposure, so on and so forth. And if you put double and bubble, you have even a better chance. I'm telling you, Hollywood, do a little something. Do a little something extra for some change. I'm saying, do something strange for a little change, and you will you'll be exposed, and you'll get some exposure at the same time.
Yeah.
But here it is with those ulama that say, you don't know if they might correct the sheikh, they might not. And I say, well, I see no change. Well, how do you know? Because I'm making the same complaints, and my complaints are valid.
Nothing's changed for the Ummah.
So exactly, changing the ruling, changing policy, change and shaking hands with people that murder Muslims, you know. So anyway, here's the issue: a sister is complaining every day about her husband. Okay, and they're going through situations. I even got beat up a few times trying to help, you know. But I'm saying, you know, so they're going through a situation, and you know how I know that he never changed? Because she never stopped complaining.
And the brothers never came to correct him.
She never stopped complaining. Well, it's not brothers' jobs. You know, you can get shot going to another man's house. I guarantee you. And Islamically, he can shoot you. So, so you might want to stay outside the gate. You know, brother, assalamu alaikum. You know,
and when you stay, you got to stay outside the gate. Islamically.
Yeah. So anyway,
But the fact that she kept complaining.
yeah, the fact she kept complaining is evidence that he didn't make the changes. I'm saying, so my complaints remain constant, consistent, and there's no sign of change because she keeps complaining. Now, I say, okay, well, do you finally want out? I want out. He's not going to change. Okay, right? So that's the advice. He's not changing. So now she wants out. Okay, she wants out, which is like khuru. You know, she wants to extract the leader over her. She wants to extract that leadership, right? And give her bay'ah to someone else. You know. So anyway, what happens is that. It was a Wednesday. I said, let's do it Friday. Why not today? Why not today? I say, well, it didn't happen overnight like that. Same with changing the leadership, changing the ruler. It didn't happen overnight like that. Let's do it Friday, meaning that we're gonna give it time, give it its propers, and address this situation after
Correct.
after planning and careful plotting, careful whatever.
Deliberating or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Friday come around, she's avoiding me. She looked like Emmett Smith. Barry Sanders. She avoided me. She was spun one time, So anyway, I finally saw I was outside the masjid toward the back. I said, "Assalamu alaikum, sister." I said, "What happened? I thought you wanted to pronounce kula, whatever."
Yeah.
She said, "Put her head down." I said, "Okay."
What happened?
Well, she accepted the leadership. She accepted that leadership was not
You
going to
have- you have
change.
time to
She
think
accepted
about
it.
it, yeah.
He didn't change from Wednesday to Friday.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't change from Wednesday to Friday. So that's our situation is an ummah situation, is that our ulama, no matter how good wives they are, you know what I'm saying, they're not changing, they're corrected. If they're correcting their husband, your husband, MBS or whoever is not changing, okay? CC or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Your husband is not changing. So you have to make khula, which is khuruj. You have to extract them and get another husband that's actually going to practice the deen.
New leadership.
Yeah, new leadership. So if I tell you this is what has to be done, and you say, yes, this is what has to be done, I say, okay, let's make preparation for it. Let's study for it. Let's make preparation. Let's do all the particulars and the preconditions that Muhammad Sallam did, the legwork, to make it come about. And then I say, let's do it Friday. Let's give it proper preparation. Let's till the soil. Let's fertilize, and let's do it Friday. And Friday come and you hide. You accepted the leadership. Don't make any complaints. And the ulama that are out are the famous ones.
Yeah.
The mashhur ulama. Those are the ones that are out. They're famous and they are promoted. That's why you see those scholars in the NBA and the NFL. That's why you see those scholars on stage singing with Mariah Carey, literally. You know what I'm saying? Because they are the famous ones, and the ones that are vilified and don't get the contracts are sitting in the prison. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Look, it's like I posted a meme. I said, America has accepted LB HD TV 4K.
Mhm.
They have
High definition.
They have accepted well-known pedophiles.
Yeah.
Pedophiles. They have accepted serial rapists. Known serial rapists. They've accepted that. Okay. Remember they told Bill Cosby, just tell us what happened. You won't get prosecuted. And they changed prosecutors. They changed DAs on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just tell it. We want to know what happened. He said, it's the first I put the pill in the jail, put it in Bob's door. And then she took the pudding and she put it in the mouth and they woke up in the morning wet. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is what happened, right? They just want to know the story. Next thing you know, they changed DAs, he goes to prison. You know what I'm saying? And has a valid lawsuit against them. You know what I'm saying? The whole state. But the issue is that we know the problem. We know the problem. The problem is vivid, is there. Now, what's stopping us from addressing this problem, from ridding ourselves of this greatest threat to Islam's revival?
I'll say fear of kuffar instead of fear of Allah. It's like
You think
we're
Muslims
frozen.
just scared of the kuffar?
They're not moving. It's like we're frozen. It's like we're deer in headlights.
Well,
I
That's
mean,
that's a big part of it.
I say scholars are scared. I won't say the general body of Muslims are scared. I say the
I
scholars.
mean, if you look at the Muslims, like again, geographically, where in a third class nation, they're busy trying to feed their family.
Right.
Yeah.
They're trying to survive.
They're trying to survive.
Basic survival.
Just the basic survival.
But the leadership, the ulama, and a lot of those people in those countries, they see what's going on in the world
Yeah.
the last 20 years. There's fear in their heart. There's definitely fear in their heart.
You think fear is a major factor
I wouldn't say
for the general populace?
I wouldn't say major, but it plays a part because they
Subconscious.
see the people that they follow or they ascribe to wherever they live. They're jailed, in prison, tortured,
Yeah.
Killed.
sometimes on the spot.
I mean, even
They
here,
disappeared.
even in the
So,
state, it happens in the
I
state.
wouldn't
too.
say,
Yeah.
80, 90%, but a great deal are just fearful. And that's sad.
I also think, and I could be wrong if anybody from the audience can correct me, is that the Muslim in general that wants to like come to make the change, right? Behind it, you have this power, which is politics, military, economy. You have this system in every country.
It's like a machine.
They have a machine, right? So the machine constantly going to have to directly or indirectly keep the population busy.
Right.
So they are working to keep the population busy. Like for example, Ramadan. I don't know if you know this, but people live in the one who live in the Arab countries. Ramadan is the only month that all the shows that are like against Islamic ideas are the most popular during Ramadan.
Really?
Yeah, why? Because a lot of people start
In the lands of Tawheed.
because a lot of Muslim at that month become very so-called religious and they become close to Allah. So even then
To counteract it.
they have to. See, so what I'm saying that this is something the Muslims have to reflect because there's a machine behind every country. If you want to make the change, you have to replace the machine
Right.
because the only thing the bottom can do right now is just that awareness. That yes, you study the deen, but hey, understand that the only way to change it's on the top. So the ummah needs to be aware of that, whether they're going to involve or not, but they have to be aware of it. When the proper time, inshallah, by the fadlillah comes, they should be ready for it. Because not everybody gonna be ready for it.
Right.
And if you study human history, like from every civilization, it's very fascinating. Like I studied like kind of a lot of the history of the West and the East. You'll always notice that few people started,
Right. It only takes a few.
yeah, even in America.
Yeah.
You know, the so-called forefathers, right? There are few, and right.
Right.
So this is just from practical point of view. So what I'm trying to say is that even though there could be fear, there could be this, but they need to understand that there is a huge opportunity that it can happen. But that work has to be done from the top. The top has to be removed. Otherwise, this continuation of the Muslim getting oppressed will not going to end. I'm sorry to say this, but it's going to get worse and worse and worse. I see it. I mean, subhanAllah. I mean, since when I was like, what, 6 years old, we turn on the TV, we see Palestine issue. We
Right.
see then Afghanistan issue. Then we see Bosnia issue. Then we see, nobody's going backward. I mean, what I mean by backward, nobody's going in reduction. They're going in increase.
Right.
Then Iraq happened twice, then the Libya, then the Somalia, then the Syria now, then the Burmese now, then the Kashmir, then the Chechnya. Then
Rohingyas.
for how long?
Yeah.
Then we say every country for themselves. That's what Muslims say, every country for themselves. And recently with that Palestinian Christian journalist who did a lot of great work to expose the oppression of the Zionist government against our brothers in Palestine. Recently she got shot and killed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, unfortunate. But look at the Muslims that are not the Islamically Aqidah based thinker. Someone start to pray for her. I mean, she's not a Muslim.
Yeah.
They're very emotional and also they're very nationalist. You know, when some brothers from Palestine invite me to, hey, let's go to in front of this our friends FBI, FBI, go in front of their building and do mudaharat and what is it, protest.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, akhi, you having that fake flag that was created by some Arab Baath communist nationalist party.
Yeah.
Al-Aqsa is mine too, but you are for nationalism. I cannot go for nationalism.
No.
Maybe that's why you all screwed up. Have you thought about it?
Brother
Brother,
Jawad,
I
Brother Jawad said they
get
call her
upset.
Shahida.
Huh?
You know, they say she was Shahida, but the problem is that it's the same thing that Hamza Yusuf said after 9/11. He said those people on those planes that flew those planes into the building, remote control. Anyway, he says those people are not martyrs. Martyrs are like Dr. King and the police that died and the firemen. Like so. There's no standard for anything anymore.
That's like a
According to
beta.
Hamza
That's like a
Yusuf.
beta talk.
Yeah. There's no standard for
That's a
anything
beta
according
talk.
to this man. I'm saying, and like Jawad is saying, he's saying that they called her Shahida. You know what I'm saying? They said that she was a martyr. She was a martyr. No, you got shot in the face by the Israeli army. Okay? The same one been shooting Christians and other Jews in the face. Same one been shooting Muslim kids in the face.
Yeah.
Okay? Yitzhak Rabin, he was known as the breaker of bones.
Yeah.
they say his policy was to turn the Palestinian children's arms like this and to break to break their arm, make it bend the wrong way. You know what I'm saying that was his policy, to break their arms for throwing rocks.
Yeah.
You have nukes,
Yeah.
but you're gonna break their arm for throwing rocks.
That's another reason that the thinking is not there. In fact, I was listening to
Totally misguided.
I was listening to this former subhanallah. He used to be in he had a higher position in Qatar, like in government. Forgot his name.
RuPaul?
No,
You said Qatar.
Jassim Al Sheikh something. He used to be like a politician.
Yeah.
A politician. He was saying, he was giving an example of how, for for example, Iran, right, and how the Arab leaders, for example, are completely like buffoons. They don't have a strategy. They don't. But Iran, on the other hand, they're like organized, strategic, political. Some genius is there.
Strategic, yeah.
But and the reason I'm like, yeah, of course, because those leaders are put by the West, and the West put them in power. That these so-called nation state didn't just come by itself. I mean, even though Iran has the CIA played a great role in creation of Iran as well. There's no doubt about that. But when they put these corrupt leaders and the weak-minded or the ignorance, of what the history kind of agreed to it. So when the new generation comes, generation after generation, without putting that awareness, it becomes what? It becomes just like the history is, you're losing the history and now you're getting new history. Just like the woke culture nowadays, where they're like doing a lot of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? So that's another obstacle.
Yeah.
That's another obstacle. So the effort to suppress Islamic political thinking or Islamic intellectual Islam as an alternative to capitalism or secularism, democracy, it's huge. And I understand why they do that. From a political point of view, they're actually doing it right. I'm talking about the capitalists and the secularists. From their political point of view, yeah, you actually, what you're doing is correct, because you as a superpower, of course you have to be the boss of everybody in order for you to survive. That's natural. Throughout the human history, that's natural. Two strong cannot coexist. One has to somehow dominate the other, whether politically or economically or whatever the case may be.
In all cases.
In all cases, right.
They have to cover their tracks in their domination, because, like you just said a minute ago, it was a few people, a group of people,
Yeah.
who were able to start that spark.
Yeah.
So they try not to let no stone unturned,
Yeah.
and dominating us.
Yeah, because you're right. Because when America went to Iraq, that's actually a form of jihad for the democratic Iraqi system. Yeah.
Well, even Bush said God told him to go.
Yes. You know.
He did.
God of that
did say
cocaine
that.
he was doing.
Yeah. So the Muslim.
What was that?
Right.
Going to Iraq. Genius.
Yeah. So the Muslim need to, if you want to study, for example, secular ideology, democratic ideology, capitalism, okay, study it, but understand that Islam is also an alternative, because some of these, even among the non-Muslim, there are some sincere or intellectual that deserve that conversation between us. I mean, I listen to a lot of amazing kuffars, right? It makes sense, but that's their belief. I respect that they believe in their ideology.
You know what the intellectual? Yeah, because the Muslims don't.
That's what I'm saying.
But the intellectuals amongst them are saying, look, it is Islam already laid out the blueprint, laid out the qanun, the canons, and the distur, the constitution.
The blueprint.
Yeah, Islam laid it out. And with that we can function, because they get tired of all the haggling. They get tired of all the haggling. It's like the guy just wrote. He said, what the guy was talking about in the podcast. He said, man, they got children that have been charged with sexual harassment. Guess what they did? They ended like we used to do in school. Matter of fact, there's a little boy on the team I was coaching today.
Yeah.
His nickname is Pinchy.
Wow.
Because he pinched a little girl on her hindquarters. They call him Pinchy. So anyway, they didn't do that. They got charged with sexual harassment because somebody walked in and said, "I'm a zebra. You must address me by zebra."
Yeah, was it New York?
no, you're gonna be a human.
Yeah.
And they said, sexual harassment.
Yeah.
You know,
Actually, I just
and I'm saying,
yeah,
so
I showed it
this is the
today.
problem that because they got 30 some odd genders and
Yeah.
growing in number,
Yeah.
right? You got to figure out that person's pronoun. You know what I'm saying? Zebra, monkey, giraffe, elephant, hand sanitizer. You know, you got to figure out what everybody's
Sanitizer.
pronoun is.
Yeah.
Then you can actually function. And if you say that you call them a leopard and they think they're a zebra,
Yeah.
you just sexually harass them.
But don't just
Children, bruh,
yeah.
being charged with
Yep.
sexual harassment
Yep.
because they couldn't figure out zur, zur, zur.
But hey, it can come to our advantage. I can go to the court as a woman
Yeah.
and take that 50%. Seriously, right? Can we do that?
Yeah. Say, I identify as Majnun, and I can't possibly give you the correct gender. You know what I'm saying?
So you see, this was happening, and the funny thing is that these among the intellectual, whether in the left or on the right, these kafir, they're talking about all these problems that happen in America. I wanted to ask them, who created all these? It's not us.
Yeah.
You know, you promote. Unfortunately, the secular ideology are against, let's say, for example, polygyny. They're against it, but they're the same one who allow zina, who allow killing babies, who allow all this stuff that is inhuman, that can destruct itself, and the ignorant, emasculated, weak Muslim men are running with it too. And the so-called modern woman or modern Muslim women do the same exact thing.
Remember the woke girl in university?
Yeah.
She says a baby, a fetus,
This is our UTSA.
a zygote does not become life until it can fend on its own. Now, what age does a child be able to do things on their own? 7, 8.
I'm
7, 8.
bro. UTSA.
Yeah.
Really?
7 and 8.
UTSA. How
7
did
and
they
8
end
years
up being
old.
in college?
So that means she believes abortion can happen up until 6, 7 years old.
Actually, in New York, they passed a law after you give, like, even before you give birth, you can abort.
Yeah.
That's in New York.
Well, they need the stem cells and stuff. So I mean, they're going to keep doing that. And those well-developed stem cells are probably, because they get like right before birth, they get like a bunch of brain cells. They get like a bunch. I think shortly after they get some more too. So if they can take it out, and then while you ain't looking, they go, and put the blender, shoot it into.
Like there's a saying, "ليس بعد الكفر كفر." There's no kufr after kufr. خلاص. I mean, if it's kufr, everything can get mixed in. 20 years ago, I used to say that just wait, a day will come when they're gonna allow these so-called people who are gonna sit here live. It's called MAP now. The minor attracted person.
Yeah, minor attracted.
It's a fancy name for
They're saying that they're born attracted to children.
So they're trying to push this that it's okay.
They say when they were born, they went in the nursery. They looked over at the other baby and said, "What's that?" So they grew. They turned 70 years old. Look at the baby and said, "What's that?" Same thing. But I mean, this is what we're dealing with. So anyway, back to the topic, verbatim. The greatest threat to Islam's revival is indeed the fact that Islam, our priorities are not revival. Our knowledge, our awareness doesn't advocate or insinuate that we should be revived.
It's non-existent, I would say.
Yeah, they think. Matter of fact, hope the sister's watching, but she mentioned that they should bring the death penalty back to New York.
I saw that.
Because someone had done something. Some guy had done some egregious things. Say, we should bring the death penalty to New York. And I said, are you advocating something outside of Islam? And because we don't get involved in kufr, politics and law.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We want to change that kufr to Islam. Okay? Yes, Islam has a death penalty for Islam.
Right.
After Islam is established, yes, there's a death penalty for those that act outside of it. There was no death penalties or any hudud or any legislation really in Mecca. But it happened 13 years later when they made hijrah to Medina. So I'm telling her that Islam doesn't advocate what you're advocating.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
And she quoted Quran where Allah has said that he ordained eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, life for a life. So I said so.
Yeah, that's for the Khalif.
So this guy took
not from me and
for
you.
the land that rules by Islam. After justice had been established,
that's Saudi.
Then someone that acts outside, that's what happens. So if that man took 5 lives, 6 lives, you're gonna kill him 5, 6 times? Because a life for a life, this man took 5 lives. Yeah. So how do you implement that? You know what I'm saying? How do you implement that?
Yeah, and those rules are not for individual Muslim.
And then the DI is part of that.
Yeah.
The family can choose DI over punishment.
Even
Does New York going to do that with that death penalty? They're not going to do that.
even in the family, subhanAllah, look at the beauty of this deen,
Yeah.
rahmah of this deen. In the family, let's say somebody, Allah forbid, took my life, whether Muslim or Muslim, whatever, I took my life, right? So
I ain't
the family, I'll probably take your life first. The family of the victim, let's say all lined up.
Yeah.
Let's say the mother, the father, everyone said yes, take him. If there's a litigant said no, lifted.
That's crazy. That's wild.
This is the rahmah of the deen.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she's not the only one who think like that. We had a conversation with the brothers that they look at this ayah, they think it's under your hand. No, even though 60-something% of the ahkam in the Sharia is basically from political level. I mean, there has to be an amir who has like a system where you have like any country system, but it has to be an Islamic system, right? They are the one in charge of that, not an individual. Then that's a completely chaos. Everybody can just do whatever the heck they want.
Then you have no courts to establish guilt.
Yeah.
What you have is that guilty. How many times? Remember the cricket players? What college was that?
Duke.
The cricket players, I think it was.
Yeah.
Lacrosse. I'm sorry, lacrosse. Okay, they hired some Negro strippers, because they do it best. Okay, so they hired them and they stripped at the party. I guess they didn't get enough money, get as much money as they want. The guys were talking down on them, calling them, ooh, ooh, ah, ah, calling them monkeys, gerard, and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, they were talking bad about them.
And put them on donkeys and make them
Like
drive up
So
and
what
down
happened
the
was
road for 40 days.
girls after that said, you know what? Let's say they raped us. I don't believe you can. No, I'm not gonna go there. I don't know them types. Anyway, so the issue is that that was their plot. Later, come to find out that those Duke lacrosse players did not actually rape them. So rape them. We're happy. But this is the problem. So where is the system set up to establish that there's justice first? You say, well, America did a pretty good job. No. Actually, because they allowed those women to go and strip legally for those boys, and those boys paid them, which is prostitution. That was not even part of the court case. The court case was, did you grape or did you not grape? I'm saying that was the court case.
And not just that, it's very naive to think like that, because in the American criminal system, for example, yes, let's say there's a capital punishment, right? But how do you determine the guys are innocent? How many cases that recently documentaries and non-profit organizations coming out saying that a huge percent of them were actually not killers, wrongfully convicted and wrongfully executed.
Kim Kardashian and other people's are part of this this DNA drive to find people that were convicted without DNA, to go back and test the DNA, because that stuff is in labs in the evidence room. They go back and test to find these people are innocent. 30 years in prison, bro.
And not just that, you also have to look at the legal system, the lawyer. If you have the money, doesn't matter if you're a worst person in this planet, you'll get out of it. See, in Islam, it's not allowed these sort of things. There's no an attorney that does it for money. The state will provide everything. I mean, the Islamics will provide everything, so the Lord don't have to cheat.
You can actually hire.
Yeah.
You can hire, but see, the thing about it, the judge is unbiased and unbothered. Okay, he's unbiased and unbothered. There's no such thing as a jury in Islam.
Yeah.
These Muslims that voluntarily go to jury duty, something's wrong with them, man. I mean, they actually commit a big sin, bro. They sending people to prison over this lawyer talks better than that DA.
Yeah.
This person's crying on. Come on,
that's
bro.
what I'm saying. So
look at Amber Heard.
Yeah.
She's in court crying. No tears are coming down.
Fake.
And she did cocaine in the courtroom, bro.
Yeah. I saw that because Nabil pointed out with the napkin.
She took a bump in the courtroom and nobody said nothing. This is the privilege. The judge in Islam is unbiased. Matter of fact, Ali, who was the Khalifa, the Emir at that time, went before a judge. It's more than one occasion he went before a judge.
Yeah.
He went before the judge, the Qadi al-Qudai, he's the big judge. He said, Assalamu alaikum, Abu Hassan. It's a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Ali said, I refuse to be seen by this judge. He's biased.
See?
Biased on his behalf. He said, Assalamu alaikum, Abu Hassan. Said, Assalamu alaikum, Ali. Right? He said, Assalamu alaikum, Abu Hassan. Ali refused to be seen by that judge, thinking that judge was going to rule in his favor.
Yeah.
because the system is more important than
Yeah.
the individual. That's why I gave a khutbah about it, and I talk about the disease of self-importance, man. The disease of self-importance is sickening, because you think you are so significant. You are not that significant, baby. You know what I'm saying? Now, in the grand scheme of
Yeah.
things, you know what I'm saying, you are very significant if you carry your weight. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about your carbon footprint. I'm talking about if you carry your weight, you're very significant. You know, but individually, you're insignificant unless you fit into the grand scheme. And the grand scheme is what? Fardu Kifaya, the big obligations, the ummah obligation, the communitative, how do you say it?
فرض كفاية تقول فرض كفاية
Yeah, Fardu Kifaya is
فرض عين yeah.
communal obligation.
Yeah.
Communal, I say communal.
فرض
Okay?
كفاية.
Communal obligation. If you fall into that, now you're significant. Okay? Now you're significant. But if you, as just an individual, insignificant.
The society is
Yeah.
more important than the individual.
Exactly. That's why Muhammad Sallallahu said, if my own daughter Fatima stole, I would cut her hand. Because the girl that was being accused was named Fatima. And she came from a noble family. Muhammad Sallallahu said, implement the hudud upon her, cut her hand. He said, Ya Rasulullah, hold on. You don't know who she is. She is the daughter of such and such, the son of such and such. And Muhammad Sallallahu said, this would destroy the people that came before you, that preceded you. He said when it came to the elite amongst them, they put aside Allah's punishment. When it came to the meek and the humble, the poor, they implemented Allah's punishment.
And that's
He
what you
said,
see.
verily, if my own daughter Fatima stole, I would cut her hand.
And that's what you see nowadays in the so-called line of the concert. They punish these the druggies that bring drugs from those, you know.
But not the prince that
But don't hold.
facilitated
Yeah,
the whole
he's
thing.
like probably chilling somewhere. That's injustice, you know. Because after all, a human being. But the point, going back to the topic again.
Yeah. So the greatest threat to Islam's revival is lack of knowledge. The urgency, because of lack of knowledge, doesn't exist. We don't realize there's a problem. Not enough of us
We're comfortable,
to accomplish the Fardu Kifaya.
We
We
comfortable.
don't realize it's a problem, okay? And like Brother Jawad said, juxtaposing Islam with foreign ideologies would not be Islam. We always give the example. Let's take a gallon of the best tasting lemonade that you like. Tart, sweet, whatever you like. Ice cold, whatever you like. Chilled, you know, and put 1 drop of urine. Now, what percentage would urine make up of 1 drop? 1 million%? Maybe 100, 300%, 300,000%. Yeah, point, whatever, 300,000.
Doesn't matter.
That 1 drop, you consider the whole thing to be tainted. But you take Islam, who's pure, white, clean, unadulterated, uninterpolated, and you add your urine. You just spray urine all over Islam. I mean, that's what they do. And they say that, no, this is the Islam that fits for today's time. I'm telling you, they don't want Islam. So, again, lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge causes lack of urgency. They don't see a problem, therefore they're not going to act toward it. And the ones that they follow, the ulama, are ulama as-salatin. They're scholars for dollars. They're scholars under the foot of the sultan. They cement the throne and solidify the throne of those rulers. And if they don't, they go into the prison. So the mashhur ones, the ones with the beautiful recitation and so on and so forth, they are out in public, satisfying their own dunya interests. Do you not fear Allah Ta'ala when the ulama are one of the first to be raised on your family? You don't fear Allah Ta'ala. You're going to be one of the first to be raised, but you're the first to overlook and justify the oppression that our ummah is suffering from. These people they say the Khawarij, they're takfiri. You make takfir on Yemen. That's why you justify bombing them with the Israeli army. Joint operations. You make takfir on Muslims in Syria. That's why you bomb Syria. You made takfir on the Rohingya Muslims. You say they ain't even good Muslims.
Even Bosnia back in my day. Yeah.
You made takfir on Bosnia.
Yeah.
Every single Muslim, every single crisis in the world, right? The Uyghur Muslims, whatever single crisis in the world, they'll make takfir on the people to justify their cowardice. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they say takfir is a what? Khawarij. So who's the Khawarij?
They're Muslim, actually, historically.
Yeah, the Khawarij are actually Muslim.
If you study your history,
But
go grab a book.
Yeah, subhanAllah. But nevertheless, That is the greatest threat.
Yeah.
Inshallah, soon we'll talk about the greatest obstacle.
Oh, there are many, man.
The greatest obstacle
There are many.
to not the Ummah's revival, but actually I got to get the verbiage right because I have it in my notes.
Oh, that's for the next time, you mean?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll bring it up, inshallah. I'll bring it up, and because it's important. It's one of the future topics, and it's along the same line, but it's different. It's along the same line, but it's different. And this is let me see, the conundrum. It's a conundrum. Okay.
Problem.
Okay. It's a problem. The conundrum that hurts Islam's growth is Islam's absence.
Okay.
Because see, people don't understand what dawah is, what the aim of dawah is, so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
that's
So
another
this
thing.
is the conundrum.
Yeah,
What hurts Islam's growth is Islam's absence. Now, how can something grow that doesn't exist? Think about it. How can something grow that doesn't exist? So that's the conundrum. The conundrum that hurts Islam's growth is Islam's absence. So inshallah, in the future we'll talk about that because I think that's a very important topic. I think Muslims need to hear it.
Yeah,
Inshallah.
because it's very important. Y'all need to
Listen to it, baby.
Say mirrored religious acts aren't the deciding factor. Mirrored Islamic acts aren't the deciding factor.
Just parroting.
Yeah,
Or just going through the motions.
You know, I made some memes and I made some jokes on different posts. Sisters will put, I can't resist a brother with a beard. A brother with a beard, da da da. I said, yeah, brothers with beards never oppress sisters. I said, I've been dealing with couples and families for like years. I still get calls after I retired, right? I said, I've never seen a brother with a beard treat his wife harshly. Sister be like, hold on, my husband used to beat the mess out of me. He had a beard. I said, one. You know, and it's the thing. And they don't even get this right. I love a brother in a throbe.
Oh yes.
I say he's thriving. The brother's thrive. I love a brother in a throb. They'll put that. I love a brother in a
Ooh, yeah.
R-O-B. I love a brother in a. They're trying to say thobe, but they say I love a brother in a throb. Or they'll say a throbe, right? THRAWB.
Ooh, yeah.
And I say, yeah, because a brother in Arab clothes never oppressed a woman. I say, you ever heard of one Arab oppressing women? Not unless he put on a t-shirt.
A wife beater.
Arab and some jeans and a t-shirt. Oh, they'll oppress the mess out of their wife.
What
But an Arab in a throb?
if if they're imam?
What happened?
What if they were imam?
Well, I mean, but you got to be Arab clothes, imam. You can't be in
He
a
ain't no imam, dog.
three-piece suit. You know, you can't be in that. You know, Wazadini two-piece. You know, with the top button open so you can see the non-hair.
Yeah, but you know, it's the most common thing that we hear for like almost 20 years is that people abuse the word dawah also.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You got to define the dawah. What is the objective of the dawah? See, dawah is not just a definition. It's an objective. There's a point and purpose for the dawah that you're giving, like Muhammad SAW had a point and purpose for the dawah. Why would he make dua for one of the two Umarain? One of the two Omars? Why would he make dua for particular individuals? Why did he just say, oh Allah, make everybody Muslim? Poof, there it is. No, he prayed for strategic individuals.
Because nowadays we only focus on numbers.
Yeah.
So recently, like Elon, somebody asked, a brother from Khalid or Saudi asked Elon Musk, you have all these, wealth and everything. How about now you should, have you thought about that there's a creator, Elon Musk said that, I don't care, I'm going to go to hell because all humans going to go to hell too. Something like that. Yeah, of course, he's an agnostic atheist.
Yeah.
But now Musa making videos and trying to invite him, what he's going to do for the deen?
Alone for he give you one of them Teslas that's driving out of control. You saw that one? 70 miles per hour until that crash.
There's a channel.
Blew right through the stop.
Yeah, but there's a channel. If you go to YouTube, I'm going to share with you guys. It shows you all the accidents of Tesla.
They be self-driving, bro.
Yeah, all the accidents.
That's why when he said he was riding with a doctor.
Yeah.
The doctor programmed and it turned.
Yeah, it was like, what the heck?
What are you doing?
Yeah, Allah, it was like, what the? Took us 15 minutes and it took us to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because it was not that far from the neighborhood, but it was going to probably 20.
There are so many, to use a Rumsfeld term, there were so many unknowables.
Yeah.
On those self-driving
when you self-drive, But anyway, nevertheless.
Yeah, but the point,
don't the GPS it shows you on the road you're on, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you exit too fast, you're on the access road, it'll show you still on the highway.
Yeah.
Then it will click back.
Yeah.
So that little delay right there, that little delay.
And the thing with Tesla, the cool thing about it that I think when you buy a Tesla, you have to agree that all the data should be shared because they use it for analysis.
Yeah, you
to
gotta
prevent
agree to die.
to improve it to improve it. Yeah.
Inshallah, Cybertruck. Inshallah, I still want a
Yeah.
Cybertruck.
Hey, guess what?
I don't care if I die on the I'll be like,
Guess what they did to the Cybertruck? They added the solar on the top.
oh man.
Solar panel.
Yeah, on the top.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
That much solar panel is not enough.
Because Toyota came with the amazing technology. Like inshallah next year they're gonna release it. It's like
They're supposed to come out with a hybrid Tacoma.
this is way different. This is like it's like Tesla, but it's not Tesla, like, which is all electric. It has a less space, and the design looks amazing. It's one of that thing a Toyota pickup. Pickup or
Tesla's
SUV.
advantage is the battery, bro. That's their advantage. They got little African kids in Africa pulling that stuff out their minds, bro. That's their advantage. And nobody owns them African kids except Elon Musk.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, they only own little kids.
But the point is,
They had
like,
to ask Elon Musk how many kids he got. He said, in
Yeah,
the
but-
mine? In the mine or outside the mine?
so I know Elon. He did kind of sincerely ask that. Yes, he wants to believe in the creator, but the point is, whether he wants or not, like, why the Muslim? Okay, so what's his strategy? Let's say, inshallah, Allah gives me that. Then what?
Yeah, he just be another Muslim that can't dance.
He's like
Like, what he does
autistic.
is
Yeah. But my point is, like,
They're overly
mo-
impressed.
we are so we are so busy with the celebrity, but we're so busy. We already have 2 billion Muslim in this planet.
That's what Sheikh Faisal said.
Yeah,
He said Muhammad was seeking the Nusra
yeah,
in Mecca and
Yeah.
then in Medina. He said these were celebrities. The people with the Nusra.
Yeah.
Celebrities. I said, celebrities don't have Nusra, man.
yeah. They don't.
They just got high Facebook followings, high social media. It's not Nusra. What celebrity you know got an army? I know one got a Hummer.
It's crazy.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, they are busy with numbers.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
And worldwide recognition.
But well, within the Islamic system, the non-Muslim can live with the Islamic system because they're considered a citizens of the state. So they can be on their own belief. They don't have to leave it.
Right.
But we have to make it. You became like the evangelical Christians. They do the same thing. What's it called? I don't speak English. Proselytizing. What is it called? Right?
Proselytizing.
Proselytizing. All right. Yeah. So
Sound like prostitution. Would you like to come to church? And by church, I mean my...
Yeah, but they do the same thing. But the Muslims are doing the same exact thing.
Yes.
Inshallah, we'll do it justice, inshallah.
Inshallah ta'ala.
Either next week or the future, inshallah.
Yeah. Let's go with the.
Shaking my Muslim head.
Shaking my Muslim head is indeed about the one that they're calling the Shahida, the journalist that was killed by the Israeli forces.
Yeah.
Even Al Jazeera said a journalist killed. They didn't put that she was executed with a headshot by the Israeli army because she was reporting some of the atrocities. She wasn't a Muslim. She's not Shahida. Okay, let's stop that. Okay, let's stop that part. Okay?
Some even said that, well, if she doesn't go to the Jannah, I'm not going to go to the Jannah.
Exactly. That's one of the main
Muslims
points.
saying this.
Muslims said,
La ilaha
if
illallah.
she doesn't go to heaven, that's not a heaven I want to go to. So these are the Muslims that's supposed to revive.
Yeah.
These are the Muslims that are supposed to reject their shayukh that cement the throne of corrupt rulers. Not these, bro.
No.
Yeah, she sounds atheist.
Yeah.
Atheists say stuff like that.
Well, like Jesse. Amazing. Like, he had it in the show with Brother Eddie, right? Then they have him again. I'm like, why do you care about this guy? I'm not saying every human being have the right to know Islam.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
on any human being.
Yeah, I'm not saying you don't do it, but I'm just talking about priority. Like, what do you want to? Like, what are you going to gain from this? Like,
Look at Muhammad Sallallahu with Surat al-Abasa. Okay, just this example: Ibn Maktoum, the blind man, named after his grandmother's name, right? Okay, Ibn Maktoum, Muhammad Sallallahu was engaging in dawah with some elites in Mecca. Okay, now these people were the ones with Nusra. These were the people that if they embrace or decide to help Muhammad Sallallahu like he was asking for, to believe in me, help me, and support me till Allah makes it clear my mission.
Support.
If they were, then Islam had a chance to be established in Mecca itself. There'll be no need for hijrah, which would revolutionize Islam as we know it today. It'll be, it'll be the same Islam we know, but think about the hijrah was so significant that we wouldn't even had it if they would give a nusrah in Mecca. But we had it, so Allah is the best of planners.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, he's talking to these elites that could put Islam on the map as a system. Ibn Maktoum walks up blind and tugs at his throb. He grabbed the throb. Astaghfirullah, I can't say that.
Yeah, don't
He
say
grabbed his
that.
throb. He grabbed the throb and he tugged on it. And Muhammad SAW looked at him like in annoyance. Ya Rasulullah, teach me, teach me, teach me. He looked at him in an annoying way and turned away from him and kept talking. And Allah Ta'ala says, what if these people embrace Islam or not? How does that benefit you? But here comes one that is willing to listen and follow, but yet you frown and turn away. Abasa wa tawalla, you frown and turn away. So they say, well, why is Allah criticizing, but lambasting or just attacking Rasulullah? No, he was redirecting him. Rasulullah didn't do anything wrong, except that he could have used that opportunity
Because he's coming
to add him to this dawah.
Yeah.
See, because that was dawah. Yes, he was seeking nusrah, but they had to believe first.
Right.
Yeah.
He had a believer.
Yeah. Someone willing to believe right then, blind man. And Muhammad SAW was so focused on what Allah ordered him to do, he forgot Allah also ordered this. So out of strategy, he could have added him to the discourse.
Yeah.
But he was really focused on that.
Yeah.
And Allah Ta'ala redirected the Prophet Muhammad.
That was as much as action as anything.
Yeah.
As far as talking to somebody.
So
It's action.
with this journalist, man, it is very atheist. It's very atheist for a so-called Muslim to say, if this journalist doesn't go to heaven, this is asabiyah. This is all Qawmi or whatever. That's the sort of person that said it was Palestinian, what have you, or Jordanian because they kicked them out of Palestine, or what have you. But nevertheless, they make statements like this because they're really at heart atheists. They're not, believers at heart. They're atheists at heart. So if this kafir doesn't go to heaven, it's not a heaven I want to go to. I don't want to go.
I mean, even Brother Dan, mashallah, talked about, the uncle of Prophet Sallam, who was the closest to give him help and everything. Even him didn't go to Jannah, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday I was listening to Muhammad Shirazi and one of the brother Abu Atta. They were talking about the situation in India, how it's the same thing that some of the ulama are working within the system and stuff like that. And he was saying that how the Indian government, this extreme Hindu government, are like attacking Muslim, and they even made a new movie came out called the Kashmir Files, that caused a lot of attack on the Muslim because of the movie that came out, right? So he was saying that the Indian government, yes, they will allow you to have university, massage, and everything, as long as it's and personal.
Fall in line with.
Yeah, but as soon as it enters the political thinking of Islam, the economic thinking of Islam, and then there's a problem. He even admitted that they're not going to allow it.
Those massages schools are all media hubs. That's where the kuffar get their thoughts out. Every Islamic center, believe me, look, yours is not an exception. The big massive one that they build in every city, so they build more than one to cater to a larger population, to cater to certain ethnicities.
Right.
They build these big ones. This is where the mayor goes to get his envelope, his check, cash money. Okay, this is where the governor goes. This is where the council people go. This is where the politicians, the judges, whatever, go to get their vote from the Muslim community, because they have by proxy all of the minds and hearts, or 90% or better, of those that actually go there. So there's no thinking process. There's no thinking process, and this is what they do with these Islamic centers. Okay, and to all of them, every single one. There's not one. There's one at Masjid Fahad. Okay, Masjid Fahad in LA.
Yeah.
Masjid Fahad in LA. Okay, I remember this masjid because it's close to a In-N-Out burger. Anyway, so Yeah, I was like, so masjid? This burger not as good as I heard it was. Anyway, so
Yeah, you're
anyway,
right. I
yeah,
agree,
my
man.
first In and Out was actually in L.A.
Yeah, I don't know what's a big fuss
I don't
about
know.
it. It's like
They said the cow was cool with being killed or something. You know? The cow like they killed
nothing
me.
is special about it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's nothing special. Anyway, it's trash.
What's a big deal?
Also, Five Guys. They should break it down to 2 guys, and the 5 guys ain't doing nothing. Anyway, so some people love it, man. They love the price. I think it's expensive, but nevertheless, so Masjid Fahad.
Arby's, we have the meat.
Hey, Arby's got a new veggie burger, man.
They do?
Yeah, it's like almost
two-
like potato salad. It's like a salad, but it's a burger. It's
Let's
no
try
meat.
it.
It's no meat. You know
I know it's your favorite.
Yeah. Arby's is cool sometimes.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
So Masjid Fahad was just big masjid, big parking, big, nice Middle Eastern looking place, right? If you go inside, I went inside, I noticed the carpet was folding up. The carpet wasn't stretched. The carpet stopped being stretched. It kind of folds up a little bit. Going to the wudu area wasn't well kept like wudu would be in a place like that. So I asked Mahdi and I asked somebody, what's going on here, man? This ain't typical. If it's Masjid Fahad, it's Saudi funded. Okay, it's Saudi funded. So this is untypical of a Saudi funded masjid. Because the man, you ain't got to worry about no donations. All that donations don't mean nothing. You can do whatever with them donations. Saudi's going to pay for that masjid. Right. Okay. So anyway, at least to keep the upkeep, So anyway, I see the carpets ruffling and folding up. I see the wudu doesn't look so neat and well taken care of. Maybe missing tile or something looks bad, right? Grout line, whatever. So I'm looking, I'm like, what's up with this masjid, man? And he said, the imam said something that the Saudi government didn't like. So the people still supported. The people supported the imam. That's what they know. So Saudi pulled their support. So the carpet started folding up. I think somebody started kicking the carpet. The salawat was not even big like you would think. I didn't go for Jumu'ah, so I don't know how big the Jumu'ah was. I think I left that Friday before Jumu'ah, so I'm not sure. Anyway, this is what happens, man. So when you say something that they don't like, they pull their support. I'm saying people sentimentally gonna support their sheikh. Okay, that's why the ones like you say in prison, they got large support, large following.
Yeah, that's why they're there.
All the ones in prison, all they got to say is, "Get me out of here." Get me out of here, or they'll maybe don't have the power to do so, but riot in the streets. But they've been teaching the whole time the khuruj, and demonstration, all this haram. They've been teaching that the whole time. So now you're in prison. You want me to demonstrate? Make up your mind, baby. But nevertheless, anyway, that shaking Muslim head, man, is that we need to really
not be emotional and
yeah.
Because the situation with Palestine. Well, again, what is the solution?
Yeah.
Like, what is the solution for that land?
Yeah.
You still want to use nationalism. You still want to use democratia. You still want to use two-state solution, whatever. I'm like, you basically accepted the defeat and you want to.
Well, I heard the bullet had democracy written on it.
Right. Yeah. So you accept all that and Allah understand.
Nevertheless, anyway, so for you Muslims that are overreacting, calling this woman Shahida, saying you don't want to go to heaven if she don't go to heaven.
Just stop it.
Yeah. So anyway,
stop it.
For this reason, we're shaking.
Yeah, because if you guys keep doing that, then we're gonna have to
and put them on donkeys and make them drive up and down the road for 40 days.
40 days.
You actually don't drive a donkey. Though.
Yeah, but
this is technically can't whip a donkey.
It could be Tesla donkey. You never know.
Right, drive yourself. Sit back.
You hope the donkey right direction.
Sit back, Tesla donkey.
Yeah. So what's the topic for tomorrow for X-Factly?
X-Factly. What did I put?
I don't know.
Oh, I know what I did. Women that rejoice at the death of Kevin Samuels, are they marriage material? And people are going to say, SubhanAllah, what kind of Muslim would keep talking about this? Look, first of all, it is a topic because the man promoted marriage. He promoted being married before you have a baby. He said that if a woman would lay down with a man and birth a child from that man,
give him the highest honor.
That's the highest honor. Why didn't you marry that man? Oh, well, I felt like he wasn't worthy. You had a baby by him.
Yeah.
That's why they hate him, because see the truth is coming
Yeah,
bitter, bittersweet.
And not just, there was another YouTuber, she was like a white lady, right? Called in, and he told her, like, stop looking for a boyfriend, look for a husband.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, he had a lot of un-Islamic
Of course,
stuff.
yeah, of
And you
course.
expect that from a Catholic.
Yeah, that's not,
He's
that's
a
not,
Christian.
yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
Christian.
Yeah, he's church going,
Catholic,
whatever.
Christian,
Yeah, but that doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point is this: that women that hate him,
Yeah.
not hate him. You can hate him; it's fine. Okay, rejoice at his death,
Yeah.
as if truth died. I'm trying to have dialogue with these women. What did he say that make you dance on his grave?
Are these Muslim women or Kafir women?
Some of them are Muslim.
Not surprised.
Wow.
Some of them are Muslim. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Wow.
So I'm saying,
Shake your Muslim head on that one.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, what did he say to make you dance on his grave? Because you didn't dance on Fahad's grave when he died.
Yeah.
You didn't dance on Abdullah's grave when he died.
Oh, recently
You
another
didn't
one.
dance on Obama's grave when he died. He like, Obama's dead. Obama's dead. Anyway, so I mean, come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this man who said that, your value, that you want a man with 6 figures, over 6 inches, is over 6 feet tall. Okay, that's what you want. Okay, this man said these men have choices. They're not going to choose you. You're 35 with 4 kids, by 4 different baby daddies. They're not going to choose you. Oh, he's degrading black women. So all black women are over 35. They got 4 kids by 4 different dudes. All black women? Or was he talking to that one woman?
Yeah.
The one that looked like Caesar, that he said average at best. He was being kind to her, bro. She looked like Caesar at best. Matter of fact, he said, so are you home? She said, Caesar is home.
Oh my God, that's cringe level 9,000. Yeah.
I think we'll watch it again tonight. Anyway, so
Good movie, by the way.
average at best. But anyway, so I'm saying that women that
Haram,
rejoice, not that hate him, but that disagree with him.
Yeah.
That's fine. I disagree with him on a lot of things. Okay.
Yeah. Half the stuff he says.
I did an X Factor called Dear Kevin Samuels. Our Muslim sisters would not be smiling. We're not, because he said, you can't even smile at a man. You can't even smile at a man. What's wrong with you? You don't even want to smile at a man. I said, Dear Kevin Samuels, our sisters would not be smiling at random dudes. That was my podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm not a lackey. I'm pro-truth. And if you hate somebody for something they said, then let's talk about what they said and why that causes you to hate that person. You know what I'm saying?
Attack the argument.
Yeah. Let's attack the argument.
Deal with the argument.
That's what I'm saying, So I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. They say, why would a Muslim?
What time?
I'm Muslim. 9 o'clock. CST.
Wow, change it to 9 o'clock. Okay.
10 Central. I've been doing 9 o'clock.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's go through some of the comment here. Let's see. Jawad is active. What type of fashion is that? Throb. Yeah,
He said trobe.
Throbe, yeah.
Trobe.
Let's see. He also said, did you see the clip where the self-driving car got pulled over by a cop? They didn't know how to, because there's nobody inside.
No, the car took off.
Yeah, they took off. Yeah.
The cop trying to decide what to do, and the car took off.
Yeah. It was a test. A company was testing the self-driving.
Cat Williams say, I'm finna buy me a self-driving car. And when the police pull me up, I'm gonna be butt naked in the backseat with a pit bull on me. So they gonna be butt naked in the backseat with a pit bull. Officer, I don't know. Talk to the driver. Cat Williams stupid, man.
I know. Jawad said the parents of the Prophet ﷺ. I guess when I talked about the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ.
Yeah.
But what about the parents? So,
well, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know what the significance is.
Yeah. Look at this brother.
I dare not repeat that.
Yeah, don't say it. Who knows? Could be mukhabarat from there.
Hey, but I concur. I concur.
Okay, then Joe said the Michael Jordan meme. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. Get help. Yeah.
I like that.
Last but not least, actually, I wanted to share this video for Brother Mahdi. Had like two guests.
Okay.
Brother Mahdi from UK.
I saw a recent one. He didn't have guests.
I think there's 2, but I'm going to share the one with the guests. Has a lot of good conversation was taking place in that one. I'll share in the group, inshallah. Last but not least, Nasir Alamin was on the podcast and talked about sisters needing counseling. Okay, I think the brother was the guest.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, so if you all enjoyed this, go ahead and click share and like. If you disagree with us, share us with disagreement. We'll love
Correction.
to correction. We'll love to hear it. And don't forget tomorrow 9 p.m. X Faculty. Make sure you all join us, contribute, and help us.
Inshallah ta'ala.
And that's it for the night.
Okay, this has been your brother Amu Yummy, and I'm just kidding.
What the hell is that sound, man? You look drunk or something.
Alhamdulillah, shukran for viewing.
Like,
This has been Amu Yum
like a
Yum,
better sound.
Amu Asadullah, Amu Ismail, and Amu Yusuf, the Amu you love to hate. For Amu Yum Yum, the podcast, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He's doing that stuff again.
What stuff?
See, he doesn't want to click finish
Because
in the podcast
behind the scene.
because he wants us to
yeah,
dig in our nose, scratch our butt,
Yeah.
you know,
Outtakes.
do like this.
Yeah.
He wants to do all that.
The sister, the woman that died, journalist that
Yeah,
died.
yeah.
She's
When
Palestinian
did that
Christian.
Yeah. She's not a
Last week.
She's Christian.
Yes. Palestinian Christian.
Christian.
That's a good one.
Or Pistian.
And she
Pistian.
was
Palestinian.
she was in the was it a protest that she?
No,
No,
she's a journalist. She went
She had the,
and
she had the
the-
press
yeah.
vest on and everything.
I'm
They
sorry,
is
shot
it-
in her face.
but I'm talking about she was at a protest or when she got shot. What was she doing when she got shot?
I mean, because the Israeli, they're beating up the brothers there, you know.
It was a
She's
protest.
reporting it.
She was filming their oppression.
She was
Journalist.
just reporting it.
Yeah, just reporting it.
I thought they said that she was.
No. She was reporting it. She just, because like any other journalist gets shot. That journalists went to report, show what's going
Journalists are
on.
able
She
to
was
walk.
shot point blank.
Yeah.
I understand that. She was doing her job.
Yeah.
But I heard a report that said that the job, her reporting was a protest. You didn't hear that?
The clip that I saw it's just kind of sad clip, but anyway, goodbye, y'all.
Bring it up.
I didn't see it.